boy learning an Irish sea shanty. It's just the strangest melting pot of things. But so when she's singing them, first of all, I was like, why do you even know that song? Right? And then she's like, what do you mean?
It's from The
So,
Office.
and then she kept singing it. Oh, from The Office?
What did I learn it from? I think I learned it from The Office, yeah.
Okay. Well, and it stuck. That's amazing. It's very old. It's from it's a sea shanty. It's a folk song, basically, right? And you were singing it, so I thought, okay, what is a better way to redirect this annoying energy? And so I said, why don't you try to transform it into scale degrees? Okay? And you started to, you've been taking this more seriously, right? Building your musicianship.
Somewhat.
Yeah, maybe not in a structured or formal way, but you've been making it a more intentional thing. So you started to, and then you get to the end, and you found out that is the one. Okay, you agreed that was the one, and working backwards from there. What does the song start on? So singing the major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 5. If it starts on a 5, then it's 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. What? 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
1, 2, 3.
Okay, good guess. Now, it's actually not 2. It's 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. 1, 2, 5. That's what you said. But it's actually 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1 blank. What is that? That note is not 2.
3. Don't tell me. 1. I think it's not even 1, 2. It's like
not 2.
It's like a flat,
right?
Or a sharp.
It's not. It's actually not 2. It's not even 1, 2, 3. 3 is
It's like
too high, right?
Sharp.
It's too sharp or flat 3. Okay, sharp 2 or flat 3. Okay. So in music theory, we wouldn't need both the 2 and the sharp 2 in a song. You'll find that when the song ends, da 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 da, there is a 2, 1, 1 to end the song. So there is a 2. We don't need a 2 and a sharp 2 unless you really have both present in the song. It's a flat 3. So it's a flat 3. So 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 1, flat 3, 5. Now, right off the bat, within the first few notes of the song, you're trying to pick the melody out of a song, that is not using the major key. Okay? So, rather than, subject everybody to you trying to figure out the whole song all in one sitting, or to put the pressure on you, what I wanted to do is just kind of maybe illustrate how not all songs use the major scale, but even the major scale, knowing it, can help you figure out what it is.
So are you saying this song is not in the major scale?
No, it doesn't use the major scale.
So then is 1 even 1?
Oh man, you are opening up a whole nother can of worms. But okay, if we treat this whole concept of 1 as the home note of the song, then it is not in a major key. If you want to understand the history of how this scale was made, and then there's this note, and then this note, and then this note. So, drunken sailor, it's a 5, 6, flat 7, E. So you have a scale, it's 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, E. You have 2 flats.
So
those are the differences.
The 1 is in this song, and that is the correct one.
I wouldn't say correct as in a black and white, but I think how most people would perceive the song, that would be the place where the song comes to rest.
Okay.
Right? So there are a lot of ideas about tonal music, right? And one of the prevailing theories, especially when it comes to Western European art music, is there's sort of a center of the song. Okay, right here. It's a place where the song comes to a resting point. A home, right? Da da da. Flat 3. Da 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 da. Flat 7. So there are two different deviations from the major scale. So, didn't know. It just kind of absorbed to you through Michael Scott or whoever sang it. But,
Dwight sang.
oh, it was Dwight? Of course it was Dwight. Of course it was Dwight.
It was the Blues Cruise.
Cool. So, you know, it just absorbed into you, that melody, right? But when you have to figure out how to play it, the only two ways to kind of do that are to mess around until you randomly get it, right? Or you do what we're doing, which is process it, try to translate it, right, into something that can follow the shape, and then you use that shape, and then you go over and apply it to your instrument. So if you learn the major scale as kind of this master shape that you're very comfortable with and dealing in, then you can understand even music that doesn't use the major scale.
Which, like this one.
Like this song. Okay. So this scale does have a name.
What
To
is
answer
it?
your question of, like, is it the
Dorian?
one? How did you know that?
I'm in the same room when you sometimes edit videos.
No, but you could have said any of the church modes and you picked the right one.
That's the only one I remember.
There are 7 church modes. Like, you could have said Lydian or Mixolydian or Phrygian.
Oh, I forgot about those. I just remember.
It is Dorian. It is Dorian.
Nice. Wild guess.
Now, Dorian, are you curious about Dorian? It's okay if you're not,
Why are there 7?
because there's 7 notes in a major scale. And you can start a major scale on any of those notes, and the listener gets a different experience of the same scale depending on where you start.
Wait, so the name of each. Wait, so. Hold on. So they don't use A-B-C-D or Do-Re-Mi, they just call them like Dorian or Mixolydian. Like,
Dorian refers to this set of notes with the first, second, third note as whole, half, and then it goes whole, 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 half,
so
whole.
it has nothing to do with which key it's.
Yeah.
Or what key it starts with.
Well, it's
or
like saying major
ends.
scale, right? It could be C major, it could be
Okay.
F major, G major, it could have G Dorian.
So
You could have D
Dorian
Dorian.
is not minor or major. It's just
No,
Dorian.
it is like a minor scale, but no, it's its own thing.
Cool. So major and minor are just 2 types of shapes.
Yeah, you could say that. The major scale and the minor scale
And the church is like,
are
I just have 2. So they have 7 different kinds.
yeah, basically, you know, they just sat around at a table and decided why 2,
That's cool.
you know.
You don't really learn that like when you're taking piano classes.
No.
Well, I didn't learn that taking piano
Well,
classes.
I mean, if you kept going and maybe you started study composition, then you definitely would have come across this. But yeah, the major and minor scales, I like how you said it. It's kind of like a shape, right? And the Dorian is just a different shape. The shape is more similar between Dorian and minor than it is between Dorian and major. But the cool overarching like bigger understanding of Dorian actually is Dorian is the same as the major scale, but starting on the second note of the major scale.
Oh.
So if I play C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, you get the major scale. But instead, if you play the same notes, all the white keys, no black keys, you go from D to D. That's Dorian.
Oh, okay.
That's D Dorian.
Okay.
So you could play C shanty. I guess it's called C shanty. I don't know. That's what it's called in the Hal Leonard Guitar Method book, which I teach some little kids. But you could play that song starting A, D, the problem then becomes more philosophical of na 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 two.
Oh, then you would need.
Then you're thinking of the song not in the way that the people who wrote the song were the sailors, right? You got to think about the sailors. The sailors were thinking about that as the main note. So how can we call the main note a 2? Right? So it helps to use 6-2-4-6 to start off the song just for convenience.
Yeah.
But that's not really how they.
But how does the rest of the song go? I think maybe because I don't know what the rest of the song is like.
5 5 5 5 1 flat 3 5 4 4 4 4 4 flat 7 2 4 5 5 5 5 5 6 flat 7 8 flat 7 5 4 2 1 1.
That's it. That's the whole song.
That's the whole song.
Oh,
and it repeats.
I thought if there were more to it, then maybe there's something.
If there was more to it, then
What we know, like there are more variations of the notes that.
Well, let's take that to another level, right? And think, what if we made it major? It would sound different. It would sound, what would you do with a drunken sailor?
That sounds the same, pretty much the same as you.
Drunken sailor.
Okay.
What would you do with a drunken sailor? Diminished triad. Da, da, da. So you could take a melody and use the same shape, same general shape of the melody, and then change it so that it ends up becoming. I think I drove past the exit, but yeah, I'll probably get off here. But you can take the same melody, right, and move it into a different mode, and that would be probably the most easy way to see the big differences between modes. We should probably just wrap it
Say
there.
that one more time.
If you change the melody to using a different mode other than the one that it was written in, that would probably be the easiest way for you to experience the difference between the modes.
Got it. So like Dorian versus major. Like you just sang it in
I
major.
just sang it in a
then
major.
you can
Right,
realize
exactly.
how it's different.
Absolutely.
Got it.
So did I pass the exit?
I think so.
Yeah. I get really into it. Sorry. Gotta tell our friends we're late.
They said they are late. They texted that they're late. So it's okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's nice to talk about music theory as the whole world goes nuts.
Until next time.
Until next time.